All right.
I've never, hold on, I've never been on this end. There we go. I hit continue.
Cool. All right. Well, I want to welcome you guys to yet another episode of the Dad Hat Chronicles. And with me today, I have a special guest, Mr. James Christopher. How you doing, my man?
Man, I am good. I am excited to be on your show. And I think this is like the first time we've been able to talk in real time as opposed to through memes and GIFs.
Exactly.
There you
Through
go.
Twitter.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
this is some cool stuff for sure, my friend.
Absolutely.
All right. So I want to read some stuff because I was doing a little bit of research on you, and then this is what I got. So Austin Revolution Film Festival, you run that, correct?
Yes, sir. I created it, own it. We are accepting submissions for our 10th season,
Wow.
which will be in February. We decided to get you out of Austin in September and move it to February. Well, that and the pandemic decided, but
Yeah, a
here we are.
little pandemic, got in the way of that.
Yeah, here we are.
So yeah, I mean it's pretty cool because it's Movie Maker Top 50, and I read this and it was like, well, of course it is because it's him. Number one review multi-genre festival, over 300 filmmaker reviews. I mean that's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
what it is. It's really humbling because the film festival business is one where integrity can be in short supply, and so the fact that people feel like they can trust us is what matters the most.
In
Really.
real life, actually, nowadays.
So, yeah, it's a microcosm.
Right.
So yeah.
And then you yourself have directed 50 indie films. 15, I'm sorry, 15.
50. Man, you made me tired. Yeah. 15. So I graduated from University of Texas Film School, and they kind of ingrained the independent filmmaker here. And I was also out of the army. I was a 30-year-old college graduate, and I couldn't stand the idea of getting coffee for a 24-year-old in LA. So instead, we did this, and yeah, we've done 15 different films, all very different, all some better than others. That's how it goes. But
Hey,
definitely a fun
you
ride.
learn from everything, right?
Yeah, and sometimes audiences get my sense of humor, and sometimes you make a mockumentary about adult film stars in their regular life. So that's what happens.
I saw the
There you
title.
go.
It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I remember screening it though, and somebody was like, "Well, how come you don't have any?" Well, read the synopsis. It's when they're not working. Like, how do they fit into regular life? And
Right.
they were
Like you
disappointed.
gotta read the
Yeah,
the things, guys. Come on now.
left to right, form words into sentences. Right? It's hard.
And then and the way that I got to know about you was actually this little show on YouTube, Let's Get To, right?
Yeah, absolutely. My passion project, as I like to say, or my therapy, I guess, one or the other, or both, or all of it.
All of it all at once.
Yeah.
But I want to start by going back. I want to know, like I'd ask everybody, what was that moment, in your childhood that got you to become a fan of sports, baseball, football,
Yeah.
anything? What was that moment?
So I have lots of loves, right, in
Mhm.
sports, and the Astros are my first and last love. But I think, like a lot of people, you're an Indians fan.
Mhm.
If you're anything other than a Yankee fan or a Dodger fan, to me, fandom's about pain when it comes to baseball. And in my very first real moment,
Yeah.
and I still have the pennant on the wall. 1986, the Astros won the NL West at the time, and I didn't really know. I was 10 years old. I just thought I had the best baseball team on the planet, and then to see them lose to the Mets in 6 games, it really was a gut check moment for me where my grandfather said something to the effect of, you show your character if you're a fan in 1987 after this happened. And, it, to me, it's ups and downs through strikes, through losing to the Braves, through what I like to refer to as the late unpleasantness. It's,
Right.
it's that's what it is. And I think, you live with that. I'm a Cowboys fan, and that was easy early on because I went to high school. I was the only one Cowboys fan there, and they won Super Bowls. And then I just thought
Right.
that's what happened. And I think college with the Longhorns, it's been rough lately, but for the most part, I didn't really become a fan of them until I went there. So it was kind of, the Astros though is really where it begins and ends for me, and usually it's about pain.
Yeah, yeah, I know. The 90s for us here in Cleveland, the Indians when they lost to the Marlins. Oh God. And
Yeah,
then, also the Braves. Yeah, I get it. And then recently losing to the Cubs.
for the Cubs,
Great.
yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It's not fun at all, but you stick with when they win, and you stick with them when they're losing. Like right now, my team, not so good.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think the one solace I'll get when this Astros run ends is at least it'll be easier to get around Minute Maid Park because there's a lot of people there now,
It
and I
is
don't think
too
they were
bad.
there. They were not there in 2014 and 2013, so we'll
Like,
see.
I don't know who you are, because I've never seen you in my life.
Yeah, my brother actually had like a meltdown, and he started yelling, "Where were all you 4 years ago when we were like stacked trying to get out of here?" And he was upset. So yeah, we'll still be there doing our thing when this thing ends, and hopefully there'll be another run in my lifetime. So
Yeah. Hey, you know what? They look good right now. So
I'm
you
cautiously
never.
optimistic, but
Right,
yeah,
right. I mean, because there's a lot of good teams out there right now. So I mean, who
yeah.
knows? At this
It
point,
seems like
who knows?
and it seems like there's a lot of the same team out there. Like it seems like no one's great. The Yankees rattle off and their fan base. I'm sure you saw at the beginning, screw this
Warrior.
team. And now all of a sudden they can't lose. And now it's back to, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So,
At least we're not the Mets.
oh, wow. You can't see this but I'm doing the
But
thumbs
thumbs
down.
down right now. Exactly. At least we're not the Mets. So
Oh, boy.
there's always that, you know.
Always that.
So, but you've always been the major sports, right? So let me ask you, how did you get started with the minor leagues?
I think so. That's weird because yeah, and I kind of get mocked a little bit because whenever I'm explaining this to people, and if you listen to enough of shows, I tell the
Mm-hmm.
story enough times. But I did grow up in the Astrodome. Like I was an Astros buddy. My grandfather would take me. I bet you I went to 20 or 30 home games a year. And I didn't really know about minor league baseball outside of I knew there was a place called the Miners where
Mm-hmm.
players would come from. And I'd seen Bull Durham. And I stumbled into one in Oklahoma, but really it wasn't until I met my wife Jessica, and they grew up in San Antonio, and they were big mission, like the missions were them for them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I went there. We went to our first missions game, I think in 2000, and I saw a former Longhorn catcher steal home. And I thought to myself, this is amazing.
Yep.
And really that was the beginning and end for it. And and it's funny, like I stumbled into, like I was at the game that Will Ferrell pitched in for Round Rock when they
Oh
had. So
man.
yeah, and so like they had done this thing where like, oh, we got to go. There's this new Astros prospect, and they had really built it up like it was a real guy. And out comes Will Ferrell. And I'm like, yeah. So it was really lots of moments like that. And then, Scott McIntyre does my show. We were at a film festival, and filmmakers can be exhausting at
Mm-hmm.
times. I can brag here since this is a different audience, but I was also like really, really good at what we did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what I can. I mean, wait, I'm not like, well, we're not on camera, but I've got awards all over the place, and so I got sometimes I got tired of listening to people talk a bigger game, so we escaped to a Tulsa Drillers game, and we sat there and talked ball and thought that would be a good show, and then I think about a year and a half later we debuted from that moment. So I think what got me into it was the experience, like everybody else.
Yeah.
We talked about the Savannah Banana video today.
Mm-hmm.
What kept me in it was the people, and it's some of the best people I've ever met.
And I exactly, because in minor league baseball, unlike the majors, you wear many hats, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're the general manager, but you're also
Many
selling
dad
tickets.
hats.
Yeah. Exactly.
See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Many dad hats. That's right. But you're selling tickets. You're in the concessions. You're cleaning afterwards. So, and a lot of people don't see that, but what I love about it is, one, it's affordable, right? And then
Yeah.
two, it's like, it's so entertaining. It's not just
Yeah.
a game. Right. Granted, we go see the game because there's some good players out there, a lot
Yeah.
of true, baseball fans, but my daughter's not going to know, who these prospects are, but she knows, about the entertainment part of it. Right. And I
Yeah.
love that part.
Well, and it's funny you say that because so on our show this week, we did the interview already. We have Kat Foster, who's the GM of the Greenville Flyboys. And she talked about how like she got to enjoy winning the Appy League for about 10 minutes before it was time to start taking the stadium down. Right. And she had to be part of it as a GM. But I
Mhm.
also think that they love that part of it too. I
Oh, for
mean,
sure.
I don't think that there's any egos, and I don't think there can be. Particularly when you think about what we particularly affiliated in minor league baseball and what they went through the last year with COVID, with contraction. you have to do it because you love what you're doing.
Yeah, there's no other way because like I mean, a lot of them don't even get paid that much, so you have to do it for the love
Bro,
of
I
the.
looked up the salaries and I thought, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna like, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll,
no.
I'll keep running a high school film program. That's how good I am.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm like I have a job, with health benefits and all that. I'm good.
I'm
I told
good.
my wife what they're making, and she was like, "You're not leaving your normal job." No.
Yeah, yeah. Like because I've been thinking about like lots of ventures. Like I've been
Mhm,
thinking about because you've been around and I've been
mhm.
around, and there's a lot of teams that I think miss opportunity with what they're doing. And I
Oh
thought,
yeah.
how cool would it be to be like a consulting firm to say, hey, you've got a great logo. Why isn't it on more merch or this or that? Um, and so I was looking in sports management. I thought, well, let me how what is a GM? And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with being back here.
Yeah, yeah, right. And you're funny you say that because I'm sitting back, the other day, and I'm looking at a couple of teams and all that, and their interaction on social media is like non-existent, right?
Yeah.
And to be in the minors, right? You're in the minors. What makes you the minor is the opportunity to interact with your fans, and social media is such an important part of it, and a lot
Yeah.
of them missed a boat.
Like if I don't understand how teams and granted you'll see some are forward looking, some that aren't. I'll tell you that I won't mention the team name, but they were having an auction and they wouldn't say when the auction went live. And I'm a big auction
Oh
guy.
yeah.
And I didn't, and I went to the different one and shout out to the York Revolution. I bought 2 of their jerseys because, well, I had an amount a lot. But what I don't understand is, most of these front offices, they're powered by interns anyway. Go get an intern whose only job it is to be on social media and take photos
That's all
and
there. Oh yeah,
respond.
yeah. That's all you have to do. Yeah, and then
So much.
there's so many college students right now that would love an opportunity to be interning
Mhm.
because they can put that on their resume when they go do get another job, and then that's great. I think they
Yeah.
should.
Well, think about this. Like I think some teams still feel like um again, I won't mention the team, but they feel like their only audience is in that city. And they're ignoring guys like me and you and Eric
Mm-hmm.
and Hardy the Hat Guy that are buying stuff. Like we're collectors. It's beyond more than just like your audience is the internet, not just whatever town you're in.
Right. And you are absolutely right. I think if this was in the 90s, I understand, right?
Yeah.
This is the internet was just really, cooking into it. But and then now it's, everything. Everybody has a cell phone for God's sakes. We're on
Yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So if you don't build a platform on social media, you really are missing the boat. Like I'm not going to name the
Completely.
name of the team, but I've been trying to go back and like for this team to answer me or like, hey, are you going to be releasing any kind of hat on with this logo or anything like that? If you just come to me and say we're not planning on doing this at this time, I appreciate the fact that you
Yeah.
actually acknowledge that you answered my tweet, and that's it. That's all we're asking for, right?
Yeah. No, completely. And the amount of stuff that I've purchased
Oh
for
yeah.
teams that frankly I don't even know that I'll really ever intend to or be able to go, right? Like now I'm on my quest for 50. So if I've been to South Carolina 4 times, I don't know that I'm going to go a fifth right now,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
I've
No,
still at least
absolutely.
bought something and supported.
Like I just was it this week, I just purchased the Ogden Raptors. I purchased their jersey that was on sale. It's like I put it out there. I was like, listen, hey guys, they're having this sale, go over here
Yeah.
and buy it, right? Or the hats, Fort Worth Cats, I just bought that hat, so and I'm all about supporting all of minor league, not just the affiliates. I'm all about the indie, the Northwoods League, which is my favorite league right now, and
Oh
that's what's
man.
the beauty of it,
Me too. Mine too.
right?
Yeah. Northwoods League is my favorite too. And I wouldn't have discovered them if it hadn't been for the pandemic because they played when everybody else didn't. So I
Mm-hmm.
went to North Dakota and discovered a league that was like it's because they have a good fan experience and they're playing that collegiate summer league ball, which I really kind of dig.
Right.
Um, in good ballparks. Like I'm less interested in the Cape Cod because from what I understand, it's more just like a city park and you're
Development.
playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not. It's not for me. It's for scouts, and that's fine, and we need that and everything else. But um, like I'm going to go up to New England next year for the Keene Swamp Bats and and Martha's Vineyard Sharks. But because they are offering a fan experience, and I think that's really what matters so much.
At the end of the day, it's all about the Fanuc Fish, and I completely agree. Like, great, the Cape Cod, again, like you said, it has its purpose, and there's a place for that.
Yeah,
But places like, like the swamp ads, or Savannah bananas, you know what I mean, there's a place for fans that not necessarily are looking for the full baseball experience, but also looking for the overall experience, to have a good time, forget about the day that you had a bad day at work, let's go to
yeah.
watch a baseball game.
Well, I don't know if you saw all this, but the Astros beat writer Chandler Rome
Mhm.
decided for some reason that he was going to crap on Princess Night, and he got destroyed,
He shouldn't have done
including
that.
blocking me and blocking the host of the show. And
Mm,
yeah, like I don't understand. Like, first of all, you report on baseball. The best thing for your job is to have more fans of baseball. How do we get fans of
especially
baseball?
right now.
Yeah, you bring in prospective new fans, and so we ended up at Princess Night again at the Traverse City Pit Spitters, and I can't tell you the number of princesses in line buying hats and in
Yeah,
line buying. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't come for baseball, but they're staying for baseball, and that's what's
right.
important.
Absolutely. Listen, if I was up there, I would take my daughter, and
Yeah,
both me and her, we will be dressed up as princesses. Don't you worry. I would definitely do that. Why? Because it's
I
fun.
applaud that so much. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
it's so funny to me when we get like old man yells at cloud with some of this stuff, and you're
no, get
like,
out of here. I don't need that.
yeah, I don't
No,
have
no,
time
I,
for it.
I don't have time for that.
Life's too long and too short all at the same time. I'm not
Right.
into that.
All right. So let's talk about, because you have, and I saw that, you posted a picture on Twitter and on Instagram, this amazing back wall that you have right now, of hats and memorabilia.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I want to ask, what was your first one?
Wow. Okay, so it's a hard question to answer as far as what's back here. So, um, probably the first thing that I have from the MILB, um, was a Tulsa Drillers hat that my
Nice.
wife got for me before I even went to a Drillers game.
Mhm.
She was in Tulsa on business, and that became kind of her thing. Is she would hop over to ballparks, and so the second thing she got me was a Durham Bulls hat, and she drove, I think, an hour and a half from where she was, one direction,
And one and a half
bought the
back.
hat, and drove back. Yeah, so
Keeper.
it's
She's a
funny.
keeper.
Oh, for many reasons, she's a keeper, but that's one of them. But yeah, it's and those are the ones I appreciate the most. Like, I've had some, like, where a team wouldn't necessarily give it to me, but they would email me early and say, "Hey, we've got this coming."
Mhm.
You know, it's so the first one's hard for me to really
Mhm.
pin down, especially since I've really had some of this stuff for so long. But and then I try to rotate them,
Bro,
because
yeah.
we had a moment where the El Paso Chihuahuas at one point were sad they couldn't be seen in one of my shots, and so I had them up for a while, and then I pulled them down. Yeah, it kind of was kind of cool. Like, I was like, all right, well,
Getting
um,
called out is funny, and it's awesome all at once.
yeah, because all they responded with was with the sad emoji. Like, they had looked at all of the. It was Hat Day. Was it Hat Day 20? Yeah, it's Hat Day 2020 when we thought the world would be great.
Mm.
Right,
Right. All right.
right before it all hit the wall. But yeah, that was one that it's one of the most prized ones, and I've got some back there that are awesome. I like one of my Daytona Tortugas. My sister-in-law, she's from Corpus Christi, Texas, and she's a big, like, sea turtle fan. And it was my birthday, and she heard about this team that was a turtle themed, and so she got a couple of hats, and, like,
That's
completely
awesome.
on her own, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And my mother-in-law, what she'll do is, for Christmas and my birthday, give me a list of 4 teams, and that's what she buys me, is minor league baseball stuff. So it's a cool thing because all of my family and friends have sort of bought into it, and even some have come to games with me, even though they don't have any interest, but they can eat helmets out of a nacho and look at men's rear ends. So that's
Right, you go. There's nothing wrong with that. We went to it's funny you say Ren. We went to Akron Rubber Ducks game. This was when Tim Tebow was playing for the Rumble Ponies.
yeah,
Right, so everybody went, because to be honest with you, I went also just because Tim T was playing. I mean, the guy is
Yeah.
like, the guy is a massive human being,
Yeah.
even to this day. But, somehow the ballpark was a little packed, with a lot of fans, the Roma ponies here in Akron, Ohio.
Dude,
This didn't make any sense.
Yeah, he gets a lot of heat for that, and I think some of it's unfair.
Mhm.
I think everybody has advantages in this country, and I think we all have our different advantage, and I don't
Absolutely.
blame him for making a go of it.
No, why would you?
No,
Go. Listen, I will not, knock on anyone that's going to go for whatever they want to do. If you
yeah,
want to do, like me, I went decided that this year this was going to be the year. I don't think a lot of people know. I don't think I've ever told anybody except for my wife that I've always wanted to go into radio. That was
okay,
my dream. I even looked at when we got married, like, hey, I want to go into, school to see. Obviously, things happened, never got it. Was like, but the opportunity came about for me to create a podcast. So I took full advantage, right? And then support has been great. I
yeah.
just don't understand why a lot of people feel the need to knock on other people for doing what they believe in. Go for it. Absolutely. If you failed, you failed. Move on to other things.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and it's what it's one of the it's funny, we say this, and like I've got one eye on what's going on in Afghanistan right now, and it's like, yeah, we have the opportunity here to do kind of whatever we want to,
Mm-hmm.
as long as we're not interfering with everybody else. Please get vaccinated, but
Wear
you
a
know,
mask.
wear a mask. Yeah, so yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna take a shot, and if the show works, and the fortunate thing about doing what we do is the expense isn't all that much. So it's
No,
really
right.
all reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're giving up time and you gave up money for gear and if you travel. But you know, it, when I used to make a film, it'd be a $45,000 to $50,000 expense.
Right.
Oh
And
man.
it's not listen, it is not cheap. A lot of people say like, no, it's not cheap making a movie. No, no, I'm good.
No.
There's other people that are much better at it than I am. That's something that I'm not gonna do. We're good.
When I told somebody that the budget of one of our films was like 45 grand, they're like, oh, it's a no budget movie. It's like, no, it's $45,000. It is not no
No. This
budget.
is not a no budget. There's an actual number right next to it.
Yeah, there's a number that maybe cost me more than whatever your $1 million cost you, but yeah.
Yes, listen, kudos to you, my man. But like you said, all my full investment on this podcast was my laptop, my microphone, and then my awesome Minions headphones that I have on right now.
They're sharp.
So
I love it.
So minor leagues, that's your show, obviously, it's first of all, it's an amazing show because I put it on and then I watch it while I'm working sometimes. So it's a great show.
Sorry, your employer.
We want to talk about that. So tell me, I obviously there's a lot of rewarding things about making the show, right?
Yeah.
Because you get to meet all the people from all over the US and all that. I want to know what was the most frustrating part about it sometimes. What's like the most frustrating
You know
thing
what?
about it?
I'll be honest with you too, because I actually just had a really miserable experience
Mhm.
doing the show. And, there's always going to be a percentage of people that want to see what you're doing and use it as an opportunity to be bigger than you. And look, the fact is that, particularly we're really trying to position ourselves more as a web series. And so people are looking at that first. And right now, frankly, the web series numbers haven't tracked with the podcast.
Mhm.
And so if all you went by was what the YouTube views look like, it's not great.
Mhm.
And so you sometimes will get people that really want to kind of show you up. It's funny. I was talking to the guys at Baseball Mapper, and they're like, yeah, the number of people who won't even reply to an email when all I'm saying is, I want to pay myself to come support you.
Right.
And they won't even, but I was actually at a game where I was treated with almost hostility, where it was like, does anybody even watch this? I was like, well, look, if one more person watches, knows about you than they did yesterday, what's the big deal? So that's, I think, the frustrating part. The frustrating part feels like I keep having to prove myself over and over again.
It's going to happen for the rest of our lives, my friend.
Yeah. And I think you are. And my wife was finally like, quit. She's like, quit sort of self-deprecating
Mhm.
your show when you introduce it. Like, just, this is what you do. We had like the Appy League itself. we refused to give us press creds. The teams did, but the
but
Appy
not
League
the
said,
yeah.
yeah, the Appy League said we were not credentialed media. And I stopped for a second and went, well, that's actually not how it works, because we've been credentialed by about 15 teams and all of the Northwoods League. Like,
Mhm.
so that is what we got credentialed. But the worst part was, man, they added me to their press distro list. So I got all their press releases emailed to me. So I'm either media or I'm not.
There's no in between. It's either yes or no.
So I started replying LOL every time they'd send me one. I would just write back LOL.
Yeah.
LOL.
Listen,
LOL.
and you know what? And I don't think a lot of people understand. The show is to highlight the minor leagues, which you do an amazing job. And to be honest with you, like that's how I got to really follow a lot of the minor leagues. And then I'll give you credit, because what I'm doing, and with the dad hats and all that, I wanted to also showcase how great the minor leagues are, right?
Yeah.
But and that's the fun part about it. I absolutely believe this. I'm having such a hard time. I pay for my own hats. I pay for the shipping and all that. I don't ask for anybody to send me anything. I do this out of my own pocket, right?
Yeah. I will even, because you made a point the other day earlier about how inexpensive it is, right? So I will even still buy tickets to the game because they're $12 and I've got a place to sit, as opposed to if I've got a press credential, then it's just like awkward. I'm moving around. All I ever ask for of a team, I don't ask for on-field stuff because right now COVID, I get it. But even when I have all on-field, all I ask for really is to get in about 30 minutes before the gates open. And part of that is I shoot the concourse before the gates open because, if no one shows up, it looks like I intentionally shot it empty as opposed to no one showed up. So again, I'm trying to protect the team. And then I do a loop. I do the beer. I do the stuff. I do the little bits of things. But mostly then I'm just a fan. I drop about $100 in the team store. And so I think, and it's really very similar to how independent film works. I think sometimes they think the way to be big time is to act like you're big timing someone. And the opposite of that, for example, is, Marty Cordero, who is the president of the Omaha Storm Chasers, has all the reputation in the league, is in minor league baseball, is also one of the most generous people in minor league baseball. And I don't think that's coincidental. I think he gets where he is because he's generous. And so, you just gotta, I have to learn to take my ego out of it and just realize
the way that a lot, the way to go up is by, helping each other out. And I think that's, what I've seen so far. It's like, I have a lot of, respect for you, Anna DiTomaso, who at the, Baseball Bucket List podcast, there's Baseball Mapper guys, there's a lot of great people out there who are just highlighting the great things about minor league baseball, and I think we need to keep going.
And we're doing it all a little different, right? So it's easy to be no one's doing it the same, which is so minor league baseball, and so it's easy to say, sharing your stuff because it's a different approach than what I'm doing, and it's easy to we gave Baseball Mapper a free sponsorship on our show because what they're doing is, first of all, it's saved my life so many times this season already.
Listen, save my life.
Oh yeah. Oh man. We were supposed to, we had a flight to Chicago canceled. And so we pulled up the website and said, well, we'll go here instead because it's near where we're already going to be. So
boom,
you get nothing. And look, here's the thing. I'm not going to badmouth the teams that have dismissed us. I'm just going to move on to somebody else. And I've been around sort of tend to leave the entertainment business so long that eventually it does work its way back. And then you have the opportunity at some point to look past what happened and be the bigger person, or, tell them to move on. But
that's right. So let me ask you, you've been to a lot of minor league baseball games, right? And you've doing a lot of filming, there and all that. What was one of the most funny, embarrassing moments as you were filming and doing your show?
It happens. It's never hugely embarrassing, but it happens all the time. So the worst is when I have to be by myself. So I've got the weird camera mount thing I have where I can basically set it up, and then I've got the thing, and then you've got people making faces behind you. Sometimes players will do it, and that's fine. You leave it in, but at some point you do got to get in your own head about it. You get a little embarrassed, and then you just got to keep moving. And at one point, God, God, I was in Midland. I was in Midland for next week's episode, but I was there 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And there was these kids that just kept like intentionally making faces at me, high school kids, and just completely like throwing me off. And finally, I just like stared one of them down, and then they I think they went home. Like I didn't.
We're like, fine, all right, we'll leave.
We're done. But it happens all the time. I try to I think I have a sort of sometimes self-deprecating sense of humor enough that if something does embarrass me, I usually will roll with it and keep it in, because I think it makes for good.
It's hilarious and it great.
Yeah,
that's a part. I was like, I enjoy those moments because I know, right? I was like, oh, that something happened there. You can see it.
One of the things that almost happened was when we were in O'Fallon, I got to do the show from the manual scoreboard, and
great, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude. And they want to get rid of it. And I'm like, why?
Don't. That's the best part about it.
It's the best part of your ballpark. So I'm climbing up the thing, and my microphone, I've got a lavalier on. So the cord's almost wrapping around my knees. Every time I go up, I'm like, I'm about to fall. And as I'm about to fall, there's a nest of spiders. So if you were to listen to the actual audio track that I took out, I'd be like, don't bite me, spiders, don't bite me, spiders, don't bite me, spiders. And then I get up and I do the salute and I run to it. But that almost ended up like an in memoriam episode where, Scott McIntyre would have finished Let's Get Two for me.
You should do a full episode of nothing but bloopers. That'll be awesome. Of all the bloopers that you've done, that'll be great.
My wife sometimes tells me to be like, so her home office is down the hall, and if I'm in here recording something, and I'll be like, you stupid, like if I just mess things up, so she's like, you got to be nice to yourself because it sounds really self-deprecating in here.
Yeah,
I'll be yelling at myself. It's awkward.
It's hilarious because I do the same thing, when I'm doing when I'm putting the podcast together, the music and all that, and I'm doing the intro and the outro and all that, and I've recorded so many times, and I go, it's like, geez, don't be so stupid.
Exactly. Why are you a moron?
Oh God, for the love of God.
It comes naturally, I guess. I don't know, but
hey, whatever. I mean, one of these days I'll put them all together, because I still record them and I put them together, the ones I mess up, because then I think they're hilarious too, though. So
yeah, I try to move past them. I don't know. I need to be better about that. Yeah.
And embracing the hilarious part of life. Cause that's, at the end of the day, that's all we can do.
It's no kidding. But yeah, that was about the most embarrassing thing that almost happened, was the nest of spiders killing Let's Get Two, but we survived.
Please don't kill me. It is just a spider too.
Oh, it was like a whole, like you could see that there were egg hatches ready to pop.
Oh man.
Trying to climb up, and it's got one of those things to keep you from falling. So it's a cylinder. So I could only push back so far while almost tripping over the mic cord. The whole time I'm like, this could not be worse, because it was the last minute. They're like, hey, you want to get up in the thing? Heck yeah, I do. And I didn't think through any of it after that.
There's no thinking, just like, all right, nope, I'm going up now. Let's go.
Going up now. Let's see. Maybe take the microphone off before I get up there. It was
and
awesome.
You know what? It came out great. Nobody knows about that now.
It did. It's probably one of my favorite episodes. We're being sort of talked to about the possibility that's becoming an actual reality show with some friends of mine in the industry. And so we had talked about how to make it more like what a reality show's like. The model I use is diners, drive-ins, and dives, where one, they're always positive. Like, yeah, listen, don't come to my show if you want a negative review of a ballpark or a group of people, because
it's not going to be that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? Because most of them are trying hard with what they have. Having been an independent film. I remember when I showed my mom one of my films, she's like, it doesn't look anything like The Dark Knight. Yeah, I know. The Dark Knight had $200 million behind it.
I did not.
I had an Indiegogo. Mom. But, so we try to keep it positive, but we try to a tighter show. That's why the enemy stuff has sort of become its own thing. To kind of give us the room to make it feel like what might be something a studio would want to buy. So it's been fun to evolve it, because I think at a minimum it's show better, whether it gets picked up or not.
Yeah. Listen, and like I've been saying all along, and every time you put something out, promoting the show, it's like, people need to watch it because this is great, and if you really want to take a look at really the behind the scenes of a team and what they go through on a daily basis, from you had the other day, you had the I want to say it was the play-by-play caller from last week,
yeah,
right?
Was it Bowling Green last week?
Yeah, right. So you're showing that, and people like me who really enjoy the minor league, you get to see that and experience that, right? I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. And look, here's the thing. It's what it's been really cool about it is I automatically know that there's going to be a percentage of people who don't care about the minors, right? Like that's why they're in the situation they're in.
Right.
I do feel like we get a really good response from people who really like it. And that to me is what matters more than anything else.
And that's amazing. Like I said, it's great, and keep going with it. I want to see what happens to it.
As long as there are no more spiders.
What state have you not visited yet for the show?
Oh,
At all?
Don't catch me lying as I slowly minimize my screen.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping we've been keeping a map, right? And I think I have like 23 states to go. And next year, so this year I'm going to be able to knock out Kansas, Maryland, and Kentucky. And
Nice.
those will be the last three new states I add. And then and then I'm going to go to the Arizona Fall League so I can knock out Arizona. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed and the creek don't rise. They're still supposed to be allowing fans after now. And then next year, I try to prioritize trips like with what my wife and I want to take. And so we're going to do Alaska next year for sure.
Are you going to go to a Gold Panthers game?
So we're still playing with that. Like, I think so. Yes. We also want to try to do the game in the midnight sun.
That's what you took the words right out of my mouth. That's on my bucket list to go.
Mine too, but it's apparently incredibly hard to get tickets.
Very hard. Like they sell them in advance.
Yeah. And I think they only seat 1,000 people in the ballpark. So it's like, but I heard it's an awesome party, like people drinking, but even still just to be in Alaska, to see that I want to, I want to get up to like Montana and see a game, and Wyoming. And I feel like I'll get all 50 done in the next, by my 5th season of the show. And I think
that's amazing.
Really cool to kind of commemorate that, with that. And like one of our really good friends of the show is Emma Tiedemann. She's the voice of the Sea Dogs up in Portland, Maine. And, she's like, when are you coming? When are you coming? And, so that has to be a priority list. And I think South Carolina for the first time next year. So,
you got some traveling to do, my friend.
We do. But what's funny is like, so we try to be smart. Like this year I wasn't smart about it. This year, I was the kid in a candy store when it was like, okay, the pandemic is, we thought, over.
Right.
And, so it was like, yeah, I'm going to go here and go here. And I had all these flights canceled. And so I was doing trips where I would land, day home, leave again. And I did that. Wow. I did that. Yeah, I did. And that was too much. That was hard. And so it'll be a lot of like, flying to Alabama and then also hitting Mississippi and then hitting Arkansas and then coming home. So making it little driving trips in the middle to kind of knock things out and make it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Because, like we're saying, it's coming all out of pocket, and it's, it can get, expensive, even with flights being canceled and all that. So it's not, that's something that you want, definitely. No, and absolutely. I'm sure there's this map that can help you. I don't know, baseball mappers.
I use it, and then I made my own, and I'll share it at the end of the season. But where basically I have the U.S., and then every time I make a state, I make the state that sort of rainbow pattern I love with the logos of where I've been. And so again, I'll get to cross off 3 more before the season's over, and then we can welcome the void. And after Christmas, I've become a really depressed cat for 2 months, and then it's time to get back.
after the playoffs, really. But the good thing is that I have football to hold me over for a little bit at least, right? Until spring training, and that's when really, that's when everything kicks again.
And your team should be good. So
I'm excited for this year. That's for sure. My brownie should be really good this year.
They should. I hate your quarterback with a burning passion.
I wonder why. I don't know why.
I hate him so much. And his whole behavior stems from the fact that he wanted to go to Texas and Texas didn't recruit him. Now listen,
Put a chip on his shoulder for sure.
It sure did. That list is long and distinguished with Andrew Luck and everybody else. But yeah, can't no.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Like he wanted to go to Texas, went to Texas Tech, then left and went to Oklahoma. I
Yeah,
mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, he was not Ohio's favorite kid either, right? You know, when he
yeah,
planted the flag at the Ohio State game,
yeah,
that rubbed people the wrong way. Still to this day, a lot of people will not root for him because of that.
yeah,
Which I
yeah,
listen, whatever. Your school beat Ohio State, and at the end of the day, he got to enjoy it, and Ohio State fans didn't.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so all right. So to get you going, I am going to read obviously my famous, not so famous questions here.
Go
We're
for
gonna
it.
play the game and then we'll go from there. Sounds like a plan?
I did my best to prep.
All
Ish.
right, there you go. I
All right.
love it. All right, first one I'm gonna ask. You go to the ballpark. What's your snack?
Okay. So yes, I'm definitely a hot dog guy. No matter what I get, I'm always gonna get a hot dog. Yeah, I put ketchup on it. Don't yell at me, my friends at the Chicago Dog. Definitely, and then I will also try to find something unique at the ballpark.
Mhm.
But and when I go with my wife, it's better because she's a booty, and so she'll dare me to try stuff. Like the Gateway Grizzlies had a hamburger where the buns were Krispy Kreme donuts, and it sounds awful, but it's so delicious.
I'll eat it. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
I'm definitely a hot dog guy.
I want to make it to Seattle to a Mariners game just so I can try the was it the crickets at the is
The
it?
crickets, yeah.
Yeah, I want to try. Why not?
They actually taste fine. They don't taste bad.
Oh, you tried them?
Yeah, we had it. We had some. Yeah.
No, I'm so jealous. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I am.
Yeah.
I so want to do it. Okay. What's your favorite ballpark? Minor league. Let's go minor league because I know if I was gonna say, the major
No,
league.
you know what? It's funny though. When I do that, I leave Minute Maid out because you can't be
Mhm.
dispassionate about your home ballpark. Look, I feel very jealous to be in Texas because I'm within driving distance of my two favorites, Dr. Pepper Ballpark in Frisco
Mhm.
and Corpus Christi Hooks, Waterburger Field. You
Two
know,
awesome logos, by the way.
and well, great logos, great branding all the way around.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And in Texas, we take sports seriously, so all the ballparks are always fresh, and even if they're not brand new, they're great. And then I really, really, really love Warner Park in Omaha and Cheney Stadium in Tacoma.
Nice. Those are good ones. Okay. I want to make it to Tacoma. So, Um, if you were to pick an Olympic sport, what would it be?
To
To
participate in or make
participate.
sure.
Yeah, to participate. Not to watch. We're participating
Ooh.
here now.
Oh man, I'm so old and fat. Just is there watching? Is that you know what I think I would do? I would do curling
Dude,
because
me too.
I make fun of them but it looks sort of fun. I could be the sweeper. It'd be great.
Right. Listen, no disrespect to the curling scene because I'm sure that if I was to try this, they would so spank me.
Yeah.
But man, they look like your normal, dads that just decided, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with my kids right now. Let's go do some curling. And then
Yeah.
they got really good at it.
And shout out to my best friends from Toronto. So there you go, buddy.
There you go.
National sport. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's see. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
Good man. That's a good answer. Really good answer. Okay. Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
I'm gonna say fall because because obviously baseball playoffs, and I'm a
Mhm.
big Halloween to Christmas guy is my sweet spot.
Mhm.
It takes the sting out of the Astros losing in the playoffs, so that where I get really focused on Halloween. So yeah, I'm definitely a fall guy. Plus it's not oppressive, not oppressively hot like it is in summer down here.
And it's also good, I love hoodies, so it's a good way for me to wear hoodies during the fall.
Yeah,
There you go.
I'm sort of a mid cold weather fashion guy. I'm definitely a hoodie guy, and sometimes I'll do hoodie and shorts. And it's fine.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
That's like the Midwestern outfit right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you mentioned the fall, but what is your favorite holiday movie?
You can't ask a film guy this question, man.
I have that. Of course, I am.
I mean, it's probably National Lampoon, right? Like A Christmas Vacation. I watch it on
Yeah.
day, and then I'll watch it a couple times through.
Great movie.
Like ritual, like Black Friday that begins Christmas for me is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Nice. Good answer. Tacos or burritos?
I'm a Texan. Tacos.
My man. Okay. I'm a burrito guy just because you can fit everything all in one and then carry it with you. And that's that I look at it that way.
Like
I need a burrito so I can carry it around.
Yesterday, we're at this resort wedding anniversary, and my wife orders the breakfast taco. They bring, and we're in Austin, Texas, 20 minutes from home, and they bring her a burrito, and she was physically angry because she'd also because of how much food she thought she was getting, and it was this big thing. She was still starting on our counter, so yeah.
Whoopsie. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes are delicious. I was speaking with Paul Caputo. He said waffles, and the only reason I would pick waffles is because you could put ice cream on it. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
I know. I was like, okay,
he's of course going to put it in a.
Of course, he's going to put it in a exactly.
That guy sticks to a shtick, you know.
All right. Pepsi or Coke?
I'm a Texan. Dr. Pepper.
Okay. All right. Dr. Pepper it is. And then deep dish or New York style?
So I would say New York style. However, I just discovered Detroit style, which is way different, and I would pick that. But if the choice is between New York style, I definitely am more of these toppings guy, so I don't care about crust or sauce.
Nothing wrong with that, my friend. This is the part where now I want to give you the time to tell people where they can find you on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And of course, that little show that you have on YouTube and your podcast.
You can find it at Let's Get To the Show with the letter 2. And then you can also find us at letsget2.com spelled out. I should have links to everything. Our minor league baseball show drops usually on Thursdays or Fridays. And then we do a show called Go Go Astros, which is my opportunity to talk a little Astros baseball. And we do that on Mondays. But yeah, if you just follow us on Twitter, Let's Get To the Show, everything else should link from there.
Awesome. And I want to thank you for taking the time to do this. I really do appreciate it, my friend.
Man, I got to be honest. I'm glad you asked. At first, when I saw the first, I was like, oh, okay. I don't
Oh, no. You were don't you worry. I was going to ask. It was happening. It was happening, my friend.
Absolutely. No, and it's a lot of fun. And what I like about what your show is you're like, this interview went a lot of places. Our show is confined by time. I like the fact that you can let it breathe. And so getting to hear like Eric is so awesome.
Love that guy.
Eric is clearly he's one of the best people I've ever met. And you think, this is my love letter to Eric Mertens, but Eric is away on Twitter and then he's the same way in person. We got to meet him this year and just watching how his infectious love of this game and this people spread to everywhere. Walking with him is exhausting because he can go about 5 feet before people want to give him a hug or a high five, and he does it for everyone. So he's
such a cool dude.
One of the best.
Awesome. And you know what? I can't even say anything. You said it all. I completely 100% agree with you because he was one of the coolest interviews because he was such a nice guy. My wife actually, she says like, I was listening to you upstairs and you guys were having a bromance moment the whole podcast. I was like, okay,
I would suggest that you stay away from my man because he's mine. So I don't know.
All right. Well, hey, thank you again. And then we'll keep interacting on Twitter and social media, my friend.
Can't wait, brother. You're going to be on our show for National Hat Day. Don't forget.
Whoop, whoop. I will not.
Season finale.
Yes, sir. I will be there. All right, guys.